Greeting interwebs, it's Jackie K. Welcome for another edition of Pokémon XG Next Gen. Last time we beat Lorvina. Thankfully for the last time ever. I can think of one place that she might come up again, but it's optional. And I was going to end off the recording session for the night, but I'm feeling pretty good about this. So I want to keep going. Speaking of feeling pretty good about everything, I'm feeling pretty good about the team. I was going to use this opportunity to swap in a couple Shadow Pokemon and give them a try, but I'm really liking our team. I just couldn't really part with any of them at the moment. I was leaning towards Ellie because she's a little bit over leveled, but she has such good chemistry with the rest of the team that I really didn't even want to do that. At least it wasn't worth the Nidoking. Like, I like Ellie more. Right, at least I got this charge again. But is that really going to be enough to really be worth it? I'm kind of missing how much more damage that Thunderbolt did when it wasn't like, or my attacks in general did when they weren't spread out between partners. And I kind of want... I don't know what it is, but something just feels underwhelming about Congenerous move pool now, and I can't put my finger on it. I like having Hyper Voice for those rare scenarios where I just need to do a little bit of chip damage to both Pokemon, but those situations seem to be less and less frequent as time goes on. Too bad it doesn't have something that... Hyper Voice tends to have so much chemistry with moves that change the types of normal type moves. So it's a little bit of a shame that Jolteon doesn't have an option like that. Then again though, Volt Absorb is a really good ability, and I don't know if I would trade it for any other option. Let's go for a discharge this turn anyways. Maybe we'll get Paralyzation out on things. This could be a problem. It's a lose-lose situation, because either I just waste my turn and leave myself completely open, or I hit myself with a discharge. Okay. I already see the Snorlax's game, and I am not a fan! Do I got Foul Play or anything that could let me capitalize on it? No, but I can shut it down. I could shut it down real fast. I just wonder if 2 turns is going to be 2 turns too late. One way to find out. Anyways, I guess since I have some time to spare, I can at least talk a little bit about how my Sunday walk went today. It was pretty nice. I just went for a walk in a local park, and I was just going to go around it real quick and come back because I spent so much time the other day walking for Community Day. Honestly, Community Day's walk would have been plenty in and of itself, but there's been an event going on in Pokemon Go that makes cast form more common and easier to get the shiny. And the fun fact, technically, the alternate forms to cast forms, their shiny variant at the very least, is exclusive to Pokemon Go. Sort of. Right. Stick to the game plan, Jack Key. You put it to sleep first, and then you go to town. Oh, that's right, I have Ice Punch, thank goodness. I was gonna say, I see this Axew being a problem. As I was saying though, basically, they introduced the shiny of Cast Form a while ago, and is technically applicable to any place you can use Cast Form. Good luck finding a game in the Switch era that actually uses Cast Form. I think I literally don't own any game that Cast Form's in, because if I'm not mistaken, it's only been available in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. And guess what's the one Pokemon game I never bought? Also, yeah. That's exactly why I was concerned about the Exotics too. Cool. The only thing I could do to it is gone. Maybe we can make Tail and Swift work as a makeshift option though. I mean, point being, since Cast Form always goes back to its normal form, in some sense, the shiny of like Rainy, Sunny, and Snowy form are exclusive to Pokemon Go. So that was like the main reason they actually made shinies for them, because for the longest time in older generations, Castform did have this shiny, but it would just turn between the fire, water, and ice per usual, and there wasn't a shiny variant on those. But around the time Pokemon Go, well, Pokemon Go handles Castform differently. Instead of it being one Pokemon that swaps between its various forms, you just catch each individual form in the wild based on what weather it is. So if it's raining out, all the Castforms turn into rainy form. Give me a sec to figure out the best way to approach this Blastoise. I was so fixated on the Snorlax I didn't even think about having to worry about Shadow Pokemon in the mix. Yeah. As I was saying, in Pokemon Go, you catch the various forms of Castform individually. There's no form changing, at least for Castform. So they were in a weird situation where they had all these Pokemon that don't have a shiny, and Pokemon Company never gave them a shiny because Game Freak never expected Castform to be in anything besides its normal form outside of battle. So that's the main reason why they introduced shiny forms to Castform, and even without Pokemon Go in the equation, I still think that was a decision that was worth it. Because I can imagine nothing being more underwhelming than having a shiny Castform, having it transform, and not being any different from your any old Castform. Especially because the whole weather changing thing is the entire gimmick of Castform. Let's see if this is enough to recover. Well, that was a long explanation of Castform. I didn't even get to the point of the story. The point is, Pokemon Go had an event going on this weekend. I say weekend, but it was an entire week. But I work from home, so I don't get to go out to walk much until the weekend. Of course you have a berry. Like, I was thinking like I could go for Earthquake, but no, I have the water type out here. But of course you have a berry, and of course it would be for the type they actually use rather than the type that would be most effective to use against you. Of course. Can't get to this way. So I was kind of a little discouraged going into this weekend because I only had 2 days to play. One day was completely taken up by Community Day, so even though like for the event there's more Castforms and it was easier to get the shiny, I had really only 1 day to get any Castforms because Saturday was a Community Day, so there's definitely no Castforms to hunt then. That's why I said the Bulky Boy. I think this strat will pay off. Yeah. This is perfect, and I don't even have to worry about Sturdy. Fantastic. The only downside is I'm running out of time to tell the story. So, basically today, I went out because, why not? I probably not going to get a Castform because it's not any sort of weather that has an alternate form, it's just normal. And I wasn't too worried about getting a shiny of the normal Castform because I already have a good handful of them. Not maybe like a couple, give or take a couple more. So I was out of luck with. I felt I was out of luck actually getting the Castforms that I wanted because weather is based on real life weather, and there wasn't any rain. It was just way too cloudy of a day for there to be anything special going on with Castform. But there was like special research I was giving out various Castform forms, so I figured I should at least go out to the park. I like to, especially on the weekend, I like to go out to the park for at least an hour anyways, just to get my exercise. It's more fun than just doing it on the treadmill every single day. I do enough of that during the work week after all. So I go on my walk. All seems normal. Unfortunately, it seems like I'm missing out on my opportunity to actually get the Castforms because they're all normal. But I do it, and I walk, I pick up the research. I realized the Funland's fainted when I was planning on putting the Blastoise to sleep to make it easier to catch. And I go for my walk. Pretty typical walk. And then I tap on the cast form, and it turns shiny, which is great and all, except for it's the normal one I already have a lot of. And then, like, less than 2 minutes later, the weather turns snowy. A perfectly clear day. The weather in the app turned snowy. So I was like, maybe 3 minutes, if I found that cast form, maybe like 4 minutes later, I could have got a shiny snowy cast form, which would have been wild. But since the weather turned snowy, all the cast forms that would appear after that would also be snowy. So I figured, why not? I was just about ready to head back, but I figured I'd walk around for an hour more and take advantage of the fact that the weather was snowy. Because as far as I was concerned, there's no way that wasn't a fluke, and in the next hour, it was inevitable that all the weather would turn back into something not cool, and all the cast forms would go back to normal. So I just went on a major grind to hunt down every snowy cast form in that entire park to try to find a shiny one. And the walk was all... So I went through various muddy paths in the wood. Various circles around various routes in the park. And then the hour changed, and as I suspected, the weather turned back to something more normal. So it was basically any cast forms that were left on the field. So it seemed, unfortunately, I wasn't going to be able to get that shiny cast form, but no regrets. It's better than how I thought the scenario was going to go earlier on in the week, where I wouldn't have had an opportunity to catch the cast form, where I wouldn't even have a shot to get any sort of cast forms beyond the normal variant. And technically I at least got a shiny cast form from that walk. So I just went around picking up the last of the cast forms that were in the snowy form that I could, until there was only one left. And of course, when I tapped on that one, well, maybe I'll take the effort to put a picture on screen to show you for myself. But yeah, I got myself both a shiny cast form and a shiny snowy cast form from that single walk. I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure that the odds were boosted for this event, but that still was probably like the highlight of my entire week. I've been wanting the rainy form or something beyond the normal variant for the longest time, and I finally got one. They're all real neat from their, in some respect. Like, I think the one I wanted the most was the rainy form, but I'm just happy that I was able to get any shinies from this event. The odds just seemed stacked against me from the very beginning. Man, speaking of odds stacked against me, oh my god, has anyone been keeping count of how many Ultra Balls that I've gone through? I'm too stubborn to revive. You know what, I was gonna say I'm too stubborn to even revive my Berloom, but it's more accurate to say that I'm too stubborn to use one of my more Pokeballs. Because, by all consideration, I should be able to catch it. Heck, now that I actually think about it, I probably could have just thrown a timer ball and be along my merry way. I was so determined to just finish up my story that I wasn't even paying attention of how many turns have passed. But this feels like it's been more turns than against Lorvea, and that fight was actually brutal. This is just sad and pathetic. In hindsight, I think I wasted my revive on nothing, at least if this timer ball works. Man, I thought that Altaria was bad. How is this Blastoise being even more stubborn? 3 and caught. On the bright side, I was worried that I wasn't going to have enough time to finish up the story. I feel like I kind of invoked the monkey paw wishing for that, though, because that is probably like the worst way to have enough time to finish up that story. Sorry about that. And speaking of apologies, I feel like I wasted enough healing items in the battle itself. I'm going to be a cheapskate and backtrack to the healing station. And maybe someday I'll be able to resist the temptation of backtracking, but also gives me a good opportunity to save and ensure that I don't lose any sort of recording along the way, and yes, by extension, I'll admit, saves me the trouble of what happens if I accidentally KO a Shadow Pokemon. Oh, that's vanilla text. That's glorious. I'm glad the bath line was kept in, if nothing else. I don't know why I was on my toes. Filled with the thought and dread that another battle could pop up from any sort of angle. I guess with that early one and just how the previous one was, I kind of expected everything to be like that. Something tells me I can't just walk by. Oh, I can just walk by you and come back for you later. I got something I want to show off anyways. Oh, you're just not in uniform. I see. I kinda had the feeling that we were kind of lacking a battle. Things have been quiet. Too quiet. So let's see what Justin has in store. And more importantly, what I have in store to share. You know how I say I like to keep at least one Shadow Pokemon in the rotation, just to have fun with as many different Pokemon as possible? I figured out who I was gonna play around with for at least a little bit. It helps that I have it fully purified since the purification chamber already. Oh, right. Drizzle is this thing. I don't know if I'll really be able to take too much of an advantage of it, but let's just see. Oh, I can definitely take advantage of this. What are your moves again? Let me double check. It hasn't even been that long. It's only been a week, but I already kind of need a reminder of what I have to work with. Shadow Wave. It'd be pretty cool if this was boosted by Rain, but it's not a water type. It's already impressive enough that they made things like Shadow Shake work in a ground type as a sense of flying immunity and all that. I wouldn't expect them to just like treat it exactly like ground type moves minus the little things that Shadow Guard and Star. The healing option. Maybe the leftovers were overkill. Let's see. I mean, when your main gimmick is you get stronger the more HP you have, and you have a truckle. Oh, it's an AoE move! Oh shoot, it's an AoE move. I thought it was a single target. Oh, Tailwind Swift. How do you feel about being obliterated by a whale? Well, I got good news for you. You don't have to worry about that. On the bright side, more damage for the enemies. Here it comes. Log. And that was resisted, baby. And yet you lived that. Well, now that I know that detail, did anyone else do AoE moves? Might not have been a bad idea to swap back on over to Thunderbolt. So you can protect with you. I mean, you resist it, but it's... You also have Wide Guard. Well, surely the Shadow Pokemon's gotta come out eventually. I just kinda had the realization that I have to take care of the Salamence. And I put my Fairy type in the PC Do I want to have an encore? I mean, that almost did enough to just knock it out completely. But Thunderbolting Absol could be a problem. You know, as fun as that was, how about I wait for the next sucker to come out in the field? Right, it's been so long since I used a Shadow Pokemon, I forgot about that mechanic. We'll make it work out. It'll all be good in the end. If anything, this will be good for... I could just go for Shadow Wave instead of Water Spout. But what's the fun in that? Jeez. I'm gonna have to look up later if Water Spout has always been a wide range move and I just never known it. Oh, of course we have Aerial Ace. Wow, why is this Absol thing just plowing through my team? I'm kind of running out of things to protect myself from that mess. Okay, actually, it just came to my realization that I do have power. Do I even need it with the powerhouse that is this whale, though? I think I'm better off just going for a balloon. Hold on. I almost forgot that Surf became an AoE move. I'm so used to the older generations where it only attacks 2 Pokemon. Like the real old generations, like literally Generation 3, and then they immediately changed it. And yet, it feels like it's been that way forever, to me. Alright. That is probably good to protect. And like, when will I ever get to use Water Spout? When I have Shadow Wave. I kinda just forgot about just how good. Hard to imagine that a big flappy happy whale could be so OP and so magnificent. I haven't even used the healing move yet. I just completely forgot that I even had that. Actually, healing when you're in rage mode, that's kinda OP. God, if I wasn't already so strong, I would just go for Discharge, and I gotta heal up anyways, but I have Incense. I could heal up after the fight, perhaps. Oh, I have Hyper Voice. This is like literally the scenario that I have Hyper Voice for. I gotta read the fine print on the move to see if there's any sort of catch to using it multiple times. Probably not, because Recover's never had a downside for spamming. It took them like 5 generations to realize how powerful that was, then decided to retaliate that by reducing the power points. I guess it doesn't matter if I let it faint anyways, but good to know that I have options. Speaking of which, take it home, Ellie. Perfect. I just realized I was spending the whole fight waiting for the Shadow Pokemon because they were in uniform, and the Shadow Pokemon never came. Or if it did, I already forgot about it. Oh well. Even though I didn't use it well, like if I was playing smart, I probably would have healed it up before anything bad, before letting it faint. But still, I think that was a pretty fair showcase of Wailord regardless. For the people, I think I'm not going to bother backtracking this time. Maybe I could use more Revise, but I think we're getting a decent chunk of money by the time we run low on things, so I'm sure I'll be able to have a shortcut back and be able to backtrack and all that. It's one trainer fight, it can't be that bad. We're right in the middle of putting the finishing touches on our Shadow Pokemon plan. We don't need your meddling. Well, there's the thing about meddling. It's rarely ever invited. It just comes. Drizzler! You know what that means! Wait, I'm already a Drizzler. I was gonna say, it means I can spam Water Spout at maximum level without any investment, but I was already doing that. And maybe it's about time for me to be a little more careful with that. God, I just forgot. I knew Airlord was big, but I forgot about how bad it can be for the camera at times. It's glorious. I guess go over Tailwind, like, if anyone needs it, it's Wailord. The downside about the situation is that both my moves hit everyone. Maybe I'll get a little more leftover heal. You know, if I had a Vaporeon, I just realized how busted this combination could be. It'd be something I never actually do because I tend to like trying to keep my type variety as varied as possible. Nice to know you, Talon Swift. See you next Tuesday. God, I want to go to the water sport, but that's a bad. You know what? No, but if I don't put it to sleep, that's gonna be a problem. Because I see that Channel Analyst getting in my way at the worst time possible. I could have worse plays. And that wasn't even that bad when it comes to recoil damage. It wasn't like doing it against a Wailord and losing like Dracor to your HP when you're at full health. That's a long animation to heal like 2 HP of damage, but whatever. Wood Hammer is disabled. Oh, woe is me. Unless your full team is water types. Which is not. I don't see that being a main issue. What I could see being an issue is that Electrode. Well, as much as I want to go for Water Spout, I gotta be careful of that Shadow Pokemon. Oh. I guess I was just asking for that. I'm kind of a little too stingy with my health. Thinking, oh, Poison Heal will do all the work for me. Could have just not taken into account the whole, you know, water. A lot of things. Too many to count. I was gonna say, there's gotta be someone on the team that I could just like, oh. I just got done telling myself I can't Water Spout because I gotta be careful of the Hitmonchan, and yet, here I am. On the bright side, I guess with how convoluted this battle has become, oh, I'll be honest, I completely forgot about Lightning Rod. It was a shame because I was just boasting about how good of an ability it was, but it's fine. Ooh, not what I want to see in terms of damage, but I really want to make use of that Water Spout. But that Hitmonchan's gotta get out of here before I can do any tomfoolery. There we go. Now in an ideal scenario, I get this Hitmonchan out of the way, I can spam Water Spouts, this Electrode can do diddly squat against me, and it's just a good time for all parties involved. Excellent. I look forward to seeing your demise right in front of my eyes. Oh, that's unfortunate timing. At least Shadow Wave is still an option. And technically y'all are neutral, so Screw it. I'm going for it anyways. Ah! Why you gotta spoil my fun? But speaking of fun, man, I can't wait to do something with... It's a shame that we're down to electric types, because, man, I really want to capitalize on all these lightning rod boosts. Definitely feel like Shadow Wave was a better option, but I don't know if double protecting is really an option right about now. I guess both Ellie and Flame Chomp have items to resist shadow moves, at least a little. So you know what, screw it, I'm gonna go for it. Let's get everyone a little bit of action, even if they have to take some friendly fire in the process. Oh, that's why. Well, that's fine, I wasn't getting mileage out of Water Spout even at full health anyways. You know, you know how you get your mind set on one scenario, and then you completely forget about the other scenario that you had it out and set for in the first place? Yeah, that's me right about now. I was gonna say, why didn't that Houndoom take more damage? Wait, that was me. That was supposed to be the plan. Ah. Might be too late, but maybe I can at least get you out Hyper Mole so I can get rid of that paralyzation later. Assuming it's needed. You know what? Swapping away from Jolteon was not worth it. I mean, maybe I'm speaking too soon. We're just about to get rid of both of these fellas, so... in theory. This is great still, though. I mean, I can protect, I can heal. And there's still one more Shadow Pokemon to take care of. Because of course there is. Well, at least this shouldn't be too crazy in damage. I feel like paralyzation hacks are gonna get in my way eventually, but maybe I could, like, protect and heal myself back up. And if nothing else, we're wasting Electro's time. Kind of interesting that they are waiting this way into the game to give us Manti. I remember in the good old Coliseum days when that was like one of the few when that was a Shadow Pokemon you got so early on. You got it before you could even purify them in the first place. Wait, did it disable my Protect through Protect? Or is that just some weird dialogue glitch shenanigans? I can hardly even tell. I'm kind of curious of how long I can keep the whale out here. Yeah, a bit weaker than I remember, but I also forgot about how much of a wall Manti is in the first place. Like, for some reason I don't see it as a wall, I see it as... Honestly, your guess is as good as mine as what I see it as, but... Alright, Light Screen is gone. Gotta be careful about doing too much damage now. I call, but what if I just end up in Rage mode again? Then it's just, like, completely pointless. And I'm kind of wondering if this is a scenario that I want to use another netball in. I mean, if I use a netball now, then I don't have to worry about healing it off later, I guess. Or I mean, I don't have to worry about trying to chip it down even more. I guess that could be worth it. Heat Wave would work, but I'm worried about what if I burn. Let's go for the Ultra Ball. I used to catch these things in Great Balls. It shouldn't be that big of an issue. You, I think I'm just gonna not even bother and get you out of here. It probably won't matter because we'll probably get in the ball, but it's good to have a backup plan. A little unfortunate time stretch, but I think it'll. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, and a go. Well, that was a long... I'll be honest, that was a bit longer of a trainer battle than I thought it would be. I think those two battles took about as long as Lord Veta alone. Well, I guess it'll be for editing me to figure out how I want to sort that out. But I think that's a good point to end off the episode. Thank you all for tuning in for more Pokemon XG Next Gen. Next time we meet, down another floor. And you can bet your good Toonie that I'm gonna backtrack and heal back up to full. Cause why not? It'll probably be another week, if not more, before I record next anyways. So I have all the time in the world to do so. Until we meet again, take care.